Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I thought today I'm going to share with you this. Do you guys remember my haul maybe a month or so ago, and I bought this antique dress? Well, I washed my antique dress and it shredded. I kind of anticipated that was going to happen because that's happened in another antique dress I bought, but I'm not mad at that. I'm actually kind of happy because this I can use, and I'm going to share with you guys what I do if you're in this circumstance. Turn my light on, guys. Okay. If you're in this circumstance, I don't want you to get bummed. Like, oh my God, it's ruined. Well, yeah, it is ruined. The dress is ruined, but that's how I like it. I'm going to start cutting pieces that I think will make beautiful pieces to use. Like that. Look at that. I know that might seem like, oh my God, can't use that, but I'm going to show you. I'm working on a journal right now, which is incredibly beautiful. And this can be used, hold on, in so many ways. So if you notice, a lot of my journals are shredded pieces. This is just a piece of shredded old fabric from a shirt, I think it was, or a dress. And that's what I do. That's how I roll. Hold on, there's another one here. So see, the same thing with this. This is shredded piece. I'm probably gonna round that up a little bit more. That is just something that is shredded. And I love that. And I want to show you guys how you can incorporate shredded into your journals and how beautiful that is. See what I do with that one little piece. It doesn't matter. I can cut another piece because it's all going to be, it's all beautiful. Watch. Okay. Let me just pull out another frayed piece. And this is how I'm going to start working on this. So all these little areas that I see that need to be trimmed up, I'm going to trim them because I think that's going to make a beautiful, beautiful trim. I love that. I think this right here, I'm going to trim it there. See how pretty that's going to be? And so what I did, I washed it on delicate, and I kind of had a suspicion this was going to happen. But honestly, I just didn't have time or energy to wash it by hand and dry it when I knew this is how I wanted to use it anyway. Look at that beautiful piece of lace. See how pretty that is? That I want to cut apart. I'm going to cut off this stuff right here. See, I'm starting to make pieces that I can work with. I will cut right here where you see that coming apart. And you just keep going until you find little pieces that you think, oh yeah, that looks really good. Like there, I kept that because I thought that looked pretty. And look, it's coming to an end right here. This is where I'd want to cut it. See? And look, you got all this beautiful piece to work with. And won't that be spectacular? Seriously. Right? Oh my gosh. In a journal, this will be beautiful, beautiful work. Look at. Now I've got this whole pretty piece. See all that? And if you're to like work on a journal, this could work in any which way. I could cut some of the lace and look at a strip of lace right here. I could use this like an edge. How pretty would an edge be with just that, right? It's endless. And so what I'm doing is just gonna start pulling pieces off. In fact, I just purchased some items from this one lady who sells, and she was selling just pieces of scrap antique, like fabric pieces that are like this. And I bought them. I couldn't wait. I was like, I want 2 bags because you don't always find this. If you guys see an old dress and it might seem holey or burnt or dirty, and this still, honestly, even though I washed it, it still has an odor. They had this in a garage. Remember that scary garage I had to go into? So yeah, it was scary. And so I might pull off this stuff right here. It's ready to come off. So I'm going to trim that off actually, because that can still be used for something different. But I know I'm going to want that separate. So you just clean it up a little bit, and then you've got some really good stuff, right? And this could be, I'm not going to trim this part off because look, that could be something right there that I might want to scrunch and use. Does that make sense, guys? I hope so. Not everyone probably likes that style, but I do. I like using just messed up pieces. Like, look at, it could be even used this way. It could be used that way. There's so many different things you could use. And then, so that to me is a piece. And look, I love the hooks on there. Ugh, I love those hooks. So that I would put aside. And some of the shreds I'm not going to be able to use. Some of it is just too far gone. I mean, it literally was just falling apart too much. I can't salvage it. And I'm actually okay that I can't salvage everything. I know that I'm not going to. See, this is, I think, the hem, or was the hem. And you can see that shredding pretty heavy right there. That's where I'm going to cut. And see what comes up. So if you guys see old dresses that look tattered or stained or they smell and you're like, yikes, don't be afraid. Just wash them. If you want to preserve them, wash them by hand and hang them dry. But I'm okay with this happening. This works for me better. If this isn't your style, then you can just completely ignore this video altogether. But look at that piece. That's a nice save right there. Let's see, I'm gonna cut it here, right there. Look at. So this more than likely will probably, the shredded pieces here, I'll probably trash. I'm not sure. I have to think about if I can use them for something, because if I can, I will. And see how there's that one piece right there? It has that. I'm going to turn this into salvaging with this shredded, because you can see how you can just put it together like that, and it works. So let me see what I can do here to keep some of that shredded fiber. Okay, so let's just cut this down to here and make this into a piece on its own, right? Let's get rid of some of this. Look at, see, I still think I can use that. Let me pull another page out. It's also shredded. I don't even know where things are going. Okay, so maybe I put a piece here. Maybe I cut a piece and put there, or I put it on the corner, or like that. How pretty that is. You could put a flower, a dangle, another piece of ribbon, a bow. There's a lot I could think of myself using this for. In fact, I'm probably going to use this for that journal I'm working on right now. Okay, so I was still working on this. So I'm going to cut right here. And look at this piece. That's a nice long piece. I'm not sure what I'll do with it, but I'm going to put it, fold it up. And that will go in my pile of vintage. See? Vintage stuff. So let's work on this. Look, it's already just truly ripping apart. It was like a cloud of, let's see how does this work. Let's cut here. It was like a cloud of fabric flying around. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere. It was in my washer, and Then I tried drying it with my hair dryer, like to just on it with the diffuser, and it was taking too long. I thought I can't be around waiting for that. So I stuck it in my dryer and put it on the no heat cycle. See, that's a nice piece right there. And so it dried it really fast because it was so, you know, lightweight. Here's another piece. Let's see what else I can come up with. Wow, this is really, look at this, how fringed up this is. Look at you guys. That is so pretty to me. Shredded. That was the sleeve. Look at. I'm gonna cut it right here. And look at. Won't that be beautiful on something? Yeah, I'm gonna be careful with that one. Okay, let's see what this mangled mess is here. Let me trim it. Trim. Let's see if I can salvage anything from this. This was also part of the sleeve. So let's cut that and make it long instead of... So there's some salvageable pieces on this. Cut that. So look at... Okay. And this too. Now this I'm going to cut. See, I'm not taking away the shredded pieces yet. If it disintegrates on in my hands, then I know. Look, I love that piece. Look at, gosh, that's going to be so pretty on something. Look how pretty that would have been, like on a side. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Gorgeous. So if you're wondering what I'm working on, I'm going to link the digital kit below, but we're going to work on it together soon. Probably not today because I just have a lot going on today. I'm going to a birthday dinner and I still need to get on my bike and exercise. I'm committed to doing that and I haven't done it in a few days. Look at this nice big piece here. Pretty, right? That's going to fold up. Look at, I still have a lot to go. Look at the shredded pieces. Let's work on the really shredded pieces. Like, yikes, what's going on here? Let's see if I can cut apart. You see this solid piece here? Let's see if I can cut apart that. Right here. Get rid of that. Let's see where it ends. It's going to end right here. Just cutting away. Cut away, cut away. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to cut this off here. That's dangling, so that's off. I don't know how I want to use this, so I'm not going to completely pull every single thing off of it. I figured I will know when I'm working on a piece if I want to use this or not. So I'm going to just keep it aside. And let's see what I got going on here. So this like really fell apart. You know how, see this design? So this really needs to be glued down so that way it can preserve whatever's left. I'm gonna cut it apart to a usable, see? That's usable right there. I'm not going to pull anything else away because I don't know how I want to use it yet. So I try to keep things intact till I absolutely know 100% that's what I want to do. Like this, I'm still going to keep because this could be something. I'm not even sure what. But it's always good to have those little unknown pieces so you can just kind of pull out. Same thing with that. Shredded, but you could put it together and really make something cute. You could do a whole dangle with that, right? Put some more lace behind it, different fabric, and then some beautiful beads. See how pretty that could be? So yeah, I'm hanging on to that. I'll just put it on my pile there. And let's work through this. Okay. Let's cut this. Let's start just cutting this apart because these are all the shredded pieces. Now this has some strength to the fabric still. I'm going to cut away. See? That will be pretty on something. And here's a whole shredded part, which I'm not going to throw out. I'm going to keep it intact like that. Pile it up with my other pile. Look at that. That's, oh, that's really pretty. Look at, there's a lot right there. So let's just start taking this really shredded piece off of the fabric that's still intact. I think I'm just going to cut all the way across and see what goes on here. So it looks like up to here. So I'm going to cut this off of it. So just so that we have an intact fabric piece. And let's get rid of this off of there. I want to remove this too. Okay. All right, so we're going to cut around here on the bottom. Until we get to a place. Okay. Let's see what we're looking at. Let's cut down here. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. It doesn't matter if it's straight or not. I'm just freeing the frayed pieces from the more intact piece. That's my goal right now. So there's a little bit fray there. I'm going to trim that up. And it may fray further. I don't know. I'm going to cut this here so that piece can be intact to work with. Okay, so there's frayed here. But it's pretty intact, except right there is not. And this looks like it was a gathering. That's really cool. But you know what? I'm not going to cut this any further. I know it's frayed right there, but that gathering is really incredible. Hold on, let me move that stuff. I love that gathering. I want to be able to use it for something. So I'm just going to fold this. Get that out of the way. Fold that, and that's going to sit with the rest. And then I'm looking at the rest here. Yeah, this is really, really shredded. I'm not sure what I can do with it, but I think I can use it. And I won't be using this all at once. This will be something that I probably would just have around for years. You know, some of those things that you just pull out. I have some like old tablecloths that I just cut pieces off. I've been cutting pieces off for like over a year, maybe a couple of years. And they're my favorite things to use. In fact, I use them so much, I put it away for a while because I kept pulling from that same tablecloth and I didn't want to do that. So this right here, this really shredded pieces, I might cut that. I'm not sure if how I'm going to use that because that's really, really shredded. So I'm going to keep these like pieces. This real shredded stuff right there. Let's see, look at this is another piece that I think I can free up from all of this. See, I can use that. This will be my pile. Now the shreds, I might just put them in a bag. I'm not going to use pieces like that I'm throwing away. But I might just put all the shred stuff in a bag and keep it for a project I might use. And if I don't use it after, I don't know, couple years for probably, I'm going to get rid of it. But I do think that I could use it. So let's see, here's another nice intact piece. So let's cut this. Free that. Okay, smooth that out of the way. So look at, here's another big piece. That could be like maybe even a cover for a journal. See how pretty that is? So soft. I love old cloth. It's just so soft. Here's a little piece, but has a lot of fraying. So I'm gonna just cut down here where it's not as frayed and fold that up. Maybe get rid of that piece. So this is more of a fabric piece. This is all pretty shredded. So that's gonna go, I think, with the shredded stuff. And let's see if there's any. This is pretty shredded too. There's some. This looks like a collar maybe. So that I'm gonna cut and save. See? Again, that would be great on an edge. Hold on. Let me find a prettier image. Maybe not this picture exactly, but see how you can see the possibilities with that? An edge of a journal. You can scrunch it, just work it, manipulate it. So that's going to go here. Okay. This is shred. This is shred, shred, shred stuff. And that's definitely, you guys should see my lap. It's full of shredded fabric. Stuff is flying all over the place. Okay. I remember the one time when I went to a state sale, I picked the dress up out of the box at the house that I was at, and it literally was like puff, and it shredded in my hands. I still bought it. I didn't care. I still thought this is wonderful. I could still use some of the lace, and I did. It was one of my treasured pieces. Okay, I'm gonna just cut that and that. I think I'm gonna get rid of those little pieces. I know I could use them, but there's so much already. So I'll save this little piece here. Again, that's really pretty. So look at, I got my, hold on, move this out of the way. Look at, I got my shredded pieces that I'm not sure what could be used, but I think they're salvageable. I got that string stuff, I think can be salvageable. And then I have the smaller pieces that I think are fantastic, like these. And I cut them on these strips so they can be used for the edges of journals or tags. So I have a whole pile here. And then look at this pile. This pile is the larger pieces that I think I can really work with. And and some lace. And then this really beautiful lace piece right here. That is definitely a bonus. I love that. It's gorgeous. So out of that dress, I know it's shredded, but I still think there's a lot of value here, especially for how I like to use my junk journals. So don't hesitate. If you see an old junky dress that's shredded and falling apart when you pick it up, buy it. You'll be surprised how many little pieces you can use and how much you'll enjoy it. All right, you guys, I just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was kind of funny because I know you guys saw the dress intact. And when I pulled it out of the wash, it was shredded. And I thought I'm going to share that with you guys because I think that's pretty funny, but I think it's wonderful. I love those happy accidents. I think it came out better for me. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.